think your personal brand is your life's work, now is a better time than ever to start. Personal brand, digital brand, your social media presence, that combined with the real you, like the physical 3D body of you, all of that is your personal brand. And I think all of that together is your life's work. Hearing words like digital brand or social media presence, it might make you nervous, or it might make you excited or curious about the possibilities. I've been in all of those emotional reaction states before, depending on the year it was and where I was in my own personal life, my own relationship with social media and my digital brand. Thinking about my personal brand sometimes made me cringe, sometimes it made me nervous or anxious, sometimes it made me excited, and sometimes it made me curious and in awe of all the possibilities that a great personal brand could bring. Today, we're gonna talk all about it, and I'm gonna explain why no matter how you feel about it, your personal brand is your social leverage. And as tech continues to advance, your personal brand will only become more and more digital over time. Our identities are gonna become increasingly digital, and this is the reality. Even if it makes you uncomfortable, even if it makes you sad or nostalgic, this is the reality, and I'm gonna explain why this is actually a huge opportunity for you and like all the great things that can come if you actually lean into it. And just like a quick segue, but I remember when I was like early high school and Instagram first really became a thing, I just had this vision where one day we'd all be walking around and you could like, when you come into someone's proximity, you automatically get buzzed onto their digital identity. It's kind of like a holographic business card. When Instagram first came out, I was like, this is where the future is moving. And I feel like that kind of future where your digital record is already imprinted in your physical body is already live in some countries around the world. But I didn't make this video to be all scary and dystopian or whatever in this like already super turbulent period of time where AI is taking over and economies all over the world are like kind of weird and we just all collectively kind of don't know what's going on anymore. All of this almost tech dystopian narrative that I'm painting right here isn't to scare you or freak you out. I actually made this video to help you see the value and opportunity in building your personal brand now. It's not too late, even if you have 0 followers, have never posted content, are mildly allergic to the internet, except for memes. It's not too late. Like, in fact, we're only at the very beginning. To give you some real context, the internet itself is like not even 40 years old yet, and the social media side of the internet that we know now and are living in is like 12 years old. Dude, I'm pretty sure like 50% of the trees in my backyard are older than that, so don't freak out. It's not too late. You got this. This video is really gonna help you understand the true value, like the existential value of building your personal brand. I'm also gonna explain like how it can open up so many opportunities in your life outside of just exploring the more existential part of why we should build a personal brand and express our identities in whatever form is popular nowadays. There are also some real life, super tangible benefits that having a strong personal brand can bring to your life, and also talk about all of those, including some from my own personal experience. Yeah, so really watch this video. I think it's gonna be super valuable, and I think it could really change your perspective on how you approach your relationship with social media and the internet moving forward. And since your personal brand is only gonna become more and more important, I want to explore how it can be fun and actually a golden opportunity instead of the threat that it sometimes feels like. It's really an opportunity because if you think about like 100 years ago without the internet and social media, our identities, like our public personas, it was actually about the reputation that other people spoke of us. Like you go around town and if you ask about someone, you'll hear about who they are from someone else, word of mouth reputation. So isn't it actually kind of like a beautiful opportunity that we get to authentically express who we are and people get to see it directly from us? Like this is how far we've come as a civilization. And right now is the golden time to actually like tap into the fun of personal branding and being able to articulate and share your identity. I'm going to talk more about all the benefits that come with this, but yeah, just think about it from literally a historical context. We have so much agency now over our identities in this world. Personal branding is a huge part of that. A personal brand can change your life, your lifestyle, your reality. I've seen this happen for so many people in my life. close friends, acquaintances, people in my network, I've seen how overnight the personal brands have literally changed their lives and catapulted them on paths towards massive success. I've witnessed it time and time again, and it's brought up all different kinds of feelings in me, but at the end of the day, it's really cool and really expansive if you just stop punching on so tightly and finally just let your expression and life live through you and express through you without making it about how many followers you have or comparing yourself to other people on the internet. Even if success or online fame isn't your motivation, which I totally understand because I feel the same way, but in the path to self-actualization in this day and age and sharing the work that you care about, whether it's creative work, whether it's research, whether it's any work in your industry, really, if you want to share the passions that you have towards life, personal branding and your digital brand is the way to go. And it's really only going to become more and more so as we progress. Your identity and how you package it in a way that other people can see it and read it and understand it, that is just as much who you really are to people as the deepest thoughts in your head. There's a lot of philosophers who talk about a similar thing since very early on, but with social media, it kind of adds another layer of tangibility to it. Your personal brand nowadays is what other people perceive of you, so it literally is who you are to them. Like, your friends are probably catching up with you by watching your Instagram stories or looking at your pictures than they are like at every other form, like hanging out or calling you on the phone, right? This is kind of like an undeniable truth that we live in. I haven't even been active on social media, and still I connect with a lot of my friends or keep up with them recently through social media. So it's just a reality. And yes, I do think that a personal brand includes like any kind of social media too. It's basically the walking impression that you build over time. It's just nowadays we are building the impression and communication of ourselves more and more through photos that we share, photos and content that we share over the internet. It doesn't matter if it's public, if it's private, if it's through BeReal or Instagram stories. All of that is part of your personal brand. But in this video, I'm also going to talk about why we should actually leverage it in ways that are meaningful to us, instead of just treating it as a joke or not really like taking ourselves seriously around it. But I'm gonna explain my thoughts on all of that a little later in the video. Outside of just your generic mainstream profiles, your Instagram feed, or your LinkedIn page, there's so much data that you signal out to others about who you are. Even like in your 3D form, it's your career, it's your style, it's the daily stories that you post. All of these are part of your personal brand. They all collectively form your identity in the awareness of other people. It all comes back to yourself too, how you perceive yourself and your own path of growth and actualization. So I really think it's important to put yourself out there and create an intentional personal brand, one that is authentic and also feels good to you. I think this is the real challenge that most people have. If we could just all build authentic, natural brands that just felt good to us, it just felt expansive, it felt free-flowing, I think we would all do it, because like literally there's so much opportunity in doing that. I think what stops people is that we just don't know how to build authentic, non-cringe personal brands. And like, I have been there myself. So yeah, I felt this so many times. Here's the thing too. I used to think it was egotistical of myself to take myself or my personal brand so seriously. I kind of internally would criticize myself for being vain or materialistic, and that stopped me from creating content for a long time too, alongside some other reasons. I eventually thought it was really egotistical to take myself so seriously and actually put so much time into my personal brand. But nowadays, I actually don't feel egotistical saying this or promoting this kind of value anymore. At this current moment in time, I really do think that our personal brands are going to be our life's work, and that we should start now. The reason I don't feel egotistical saying this anymore was because I took a really long sabbatical from social media and spent a long time thinking about the true intentions of why I communicate with strangers or anyone I know or cross paths with in this world. And at the end of the day, I think it's because history actually does matter, and every generation does matter. We kind of like study history, and it's a chore to some people. I didn't love studying history, but in reflecting on it, I feel like my life and the most impactful choices I've made have actually been shaped more by posthumous people than people like in my immediate society. A lot of role models in my life have been brave and kind of like visionary people in history. Anne Frank, Victor Hugo, Socrates, Pythagoras. So many of the people whose work has made the most tangible impact on my current life have been historical figures. And the only way that their work got passed down till now is because they built a personal brand. It just looked different back in the day. Now and now it's like easier now than ever. So like, why would you not use the opportunity? Back then, they had to write things out on paper, and those documents had to be carried down through time, then rediscovered by people in our generation through the internet. So like, once I realized how much history does matter and how much an individual's life can matter to people in their generation, also to the future, just to help us like all understand the record of time and humanity better, I realized like it is not egotistical to share the work that you care about with other people. So now I really think your personal brand is your life's work, and you should get started now. I mean, I do think that social media gets a pretty bad rep sometimes because of really vain or egotistical people who are just posting about themselves 24/7. But this video is for people who want to actually build a more meaningful personal brand. And like, I'm guessing this video is probably going to be for people who don't actually even have that much experience building their personal brand, but are curious because they see the opportunity. Like, rationally, we all understand the opportunity that is here right now, right? This is not to shade on influencers. I mean, I think some celebrities and stuff take it overboard, but I think most people who are posting or have ever considered building a stronger personal brand for themselves, or going from 0 to 1 in creating a personal brand, most people, I think it's more about expression than it is just for the ego. And I would hope that more and more of us who actually have something to share with the world, who might be a little more introverted or sensitive or shy, but I know you have great things in that head of yours. I hope that more and more of these people will actually be inspired to share more of themselves publicly. I know the internet can be a scary place. I totally understand, but I hope that like we will see a time where people who actually have really great things to say will begin to say it, and we'll see more diversity on the social media space, this big attraction pool, right? So now let's talk a little bit about branding and the brand of you. Now I hope you're like starting to get some ideas about how interesting or potentially expansive the space could be for you. So now I want to talk a little bit about my experience and why I'm even making this video. I've been in the space of building digital and physical brands for a really long time now. And I actually made my first YouTube video on Photo Booth when I was like 12 years old, and it was like 2005, like literally in the era of like Nika Hika. And sometimes I genuinely love content creation so much, but there have been years where I've just absolutely hated it and dreaded it. The past 4 years, I've taken a sabbatical, like an intentional step away from social media, because I just got sick of it and I did not really want to see social media or post anything anymore. I was just like, it was old and I felt like there wasn't anything interesting. I wrote my second poetry book essentially about social media. It's called Isolation, but it's kind of about social media. And then after I wrote that book, I kind of took a 4-year sabbatical from social media because I wanted to really understand what social media meant to me and observe how society was living and creating through social media. But I just wanted to take a few steps away from it because it wasn't that interesting to me for a period. And now, after having done that, what I believe is this: whether you like it or not, your digital presence, e.g. your personal brand, is here to stay. And its validity and real life implications, this digital hologram of your identity in this new internet age, is only going to grow in importance. You don't have to agree or even like it. I don't know if I love it either. Honestly, nowadays I just kind of see it as neutral. I'm just kind of used to it. But that's how life works. Evolution is ruthless sometimes, and you either evolve with the times or you entropy. I resisted for a long time because I actually hate change. I like my comfy environments, and I don't like to be jolted and constantly feeling like I have to evolve or change strategies or just pay attention to all these algorithms and things that I just think are kind of like pointless, honestly. But, life gives us growth and expansion, not always what we think we want. Since personal brands are only here to stay, they're only going to grow in importance. The upside is that you have so much agency and possibility in how you create yourself and your personal brand. And you can choose what energy and what kind of mission and purpose you bring online or in whatever space you participate in. I want you to actually take it more seriously, because this is your chance to build legacy, and on a not so intense version, more career stability. It can make you more employable in your industry. It can help you get invited to more parties and social events. Heck yeah. It can get you collaborations with businesses that you used to only consume from, but now you can actually co-create with businesses that you love. You can meet new friends with similar passions and hobbies as you. I've been blogging and making videos and doing social media for a really long time now, and honestly, most of my friends are from online. Like, most of my acquaintances, especially in different countries around the world, are people I met online through building my brand and through finding people who had similar views and stuff as me. And I'm so grateful for those friendships. Like, if I met you on YouTube and we're friends now, just know I'm so grateful for you. Like, thank you for reaching out to me. Yeah, like, I can't express how grateful I am to meet so many cool people just by posting content. Like, I would have never met you otherwise. It's like so awesome and so sick. And I think the internet is just, it's infinite. Like, the internet, there's so much potential. The numbers are beyond what we can even really visualize. So why are you keeping yourself in your little glass fishbowl, limited and constricted, when there is the entire universe and world out there who is ready to receive and connect with you? We are in a time now where we can reach anyone and collaborate and inspire and be inspired by anyone. And I think that's so cool. Like, I literally think that's so cool. It is your social leverage, and that for many people can impact your career mobility. It can impact your romantic life and choices. It can impact your bank account, like so many things. Okay, it's social leverage, and I know at the end of the day, as humans, we all do care about social leverage in one way or another. And if you don't, like, that's cool too, but like, there are way more things outside of social leverage that your personal brand can do for you too. You might be someone who is just more like less caring about society and other people and more caring about your inner world, your mind, your rationality, your work, your creations, any of that. That's all cool. Social media and personal branding is only going to help you with that. I hope you're really starting to get some ideas now, because yeah, now is a better time than ever. And also, the last thing is that if you just stop clenching on so tightly to fears and the negative anxiety emotions that come up, you can just actually let your expression and truth and voice live through you, through your personal brand. And in the process of creating and sharing yourself in a kind of intentional branded way, you can actually, like, it's a feedback loop to help shape you into more of who your full potential is. And I think that personal branding can help self-actualize you. Every time I've built a brand and taken nothing and built it into something tangible and expressive in the real world, I've learned so much about myself. So it's a great tool for self-actualization too, if that's what you care about. I think like one of the biggest costs is privacy and risk, depending on the specific life circumstances. Definitely like there might be some risks for specific people, so just consider that. But outside of that, I think the upside is infinite, essentially. Yeah, so I'm excited. For me, I'm excited for you. I hope you got to this point in the video, because I am passionate about this, and I really think this is it, and it's gonna keep being it. Some food for thought on how social media can help you actualize and actually help you become more of who you truly are. There's a quote from a famous philosopher called Martin Heidegger, and the quote is that every man is born as many men and dies as one. And yeah, it's true, because like in the process of experiencing life, we lose some identities. We attach more to some other identities. So through time, we become more and more of this unique core identity of who we are. In my experience, I've observed that posting authentically, sharing my thoughts, sharing my work on social media has actually helped me define myself instead of me just trying to fit in and not explore different identities or angles of myself through social media. I think we all get so wrapped up in personal branding or having a lucrative social media career as a way to make more money or get cool things, live cool experiences, and it can be all of that for you and for other people. I think there's just way more underneath the surface of those things that we don't always appreciate about social media. For me, I was resistant to it for a really long time. It is just a medium. It is a medium for you to express yourself, and it's a tool for you to get data. And I think all of that there's a lot more value that can provide to you as an individual in whatever mission you have or whatever experience you want to live of life. I think it's really valuable to helping you build towards that. It's not even just about making money or like the amount of people in your online community. We call all of those things vanity metrics in marketing for a reason. There's just so much more to branding and your digital presence than those things. So don't get too caught up or stressed by vanity metrics. At the end of the day, I think it's so fulfilling when what you create and share and express can reach or change the life or experience of someone else who really wanted that information or perspective or who really even needed it, versus like you just posting thoughtless content that's being seen by millions of people. And I really think once you experience the impact of something that you share really influencing someone else and helping them and having them voice that appreciation and feedback back to you, I think you'll feel so fulfilled. And I wish that like more and more people would experience that more and more, because I really think like we can build a better society that way instead of letting social media and digital spaces be like vanity spaces. This is important work, you guys. Like, this is important. I really think so. I think there's so much opportunity. No matter what kind of person you want to be, no matter what kind of life you have, your personal brand is going to help you leverage and get there. I'm actually also rebranding on Instagram soon. I haven't decided my official rebrand date yet, but I'm hoping to maybe share some of that process. I've just been really icked out by social media and rampant consumerism and like the feudal tech lord algorithm world for a few years. So I've just stepped away for a few years. But at this point in my journey again, I actually feel genuinely excited again and I'm ready to go. So maybe take this opportunity and rebrand with me. If you struggle with posting yourself or expressing authentically and there's all sorts of anxieties or unpleasant feelings that come up, I totally understand. Like, I seriously get it. You can DM me the word inspires if you have any questions or kind of want to like talk or get advice. But yeah, I'm going to be rebranding soon. I'm excited for it. Hopefully I'll be able to document some of it for anyone out there who might have watched this video and kind of want to try creating a brand or rebrand their own brand or anything really. I hope you walk away really thinking about why your personal brand is your life's work. I hope you have a more big picture perspective from watching this video on how your personal brand is essentially your modern life's work, and maybe feel inspired to start taking it a little more seriously. Thank you for watching. Sending my love as always, and see you next time.